to another episode of 24 Hours with Anne and Colin. Now, what's happening here? In fact, if you've not seen this series before, then I'll just explain. It's like an extension of 24 Hours with Anne, where I just record 24 hours and see what happens. Sometimes something happens, sometimes nothing happens. Now, on this particular occasion, it's Monday morning, it's 5:30.
Makosa.
And Colin's hungry, and Anne is hungry. So they're in the kitchen cooking. Let's see where the kiddies are. Sabrina's still in bed. Erin's still in bed. Heather is up playing because she had an early night last night because she was a bit tired. So she's up at the crack of dawn, as it were, playing pirates. Anne's just been out to see Heather just to make sure she's okay. You've done her homework for today's day at school. In fact, we'd better just check to make sure Sabrina's done hers as well. Yep, homework complete and Heather complete. That's excellent. So they are all now ready for school, which will be at 8 o'clock. Now, what is going to be happening today? Well, your guess is as good as mine, but I will say this. I have popped a few new neighbours into the village, so we may go round and say hello to them today. But in the meantime, Anne is browsing the web. Now, Colin's made bagels. Now, Colin, it might be a good idea if you called everybody for bagels, otherwise they're just going to sit there doing nothing. So breakfast is there if anybody wants it. Erin is still very much asleep. Breakfast with the family, although I think Anne is still playing computers because she's not particularly hungry, but nevertheless, Colin and the girls are taking the chance or the opportunity to have a bit of a chat before they go to school. And Erin has woken up. Now, if I check the calendar, I think that she has got a birthday coming up soon. It's Sabrina's birthday on Thursday, and then it's Erin's birthday on Friday. So we've got a double celebration coming up very, very soon. Oh, careful, Colin, you just walked right over your daughter. Time for Sabrina and Heather to go to school now. And I think I might get them to study hard. I know Heather's on a B and Sabrina's on an A, but it's always good to work hard at school at this stage, just before they age up to teenagers. Now, there's not a lot of activity going around on here at the moment, so what I think we'll do is we will be thinking about going over to see the neighbours very shortly. So this is the first neighbour that Anne has gone to visit. Now, I'm not quite sure who lives here, but I think we're going to find out. Now, who's this? Felicia Sheldon. So Anne, why don't you go and introduce yourself? Oh, Felicia's gone out. Felicia, you've got guests. Oh. Okay, Felicia has gone off to work and left Anne in her house. Well, that's very trusting, I must admit. But I don't think, Anne, you should really be here. So I think you better go home and see if any other neighbours are around. Now, this is a rather grand house. Not quite sure who lives here, so Anne, why don't you go and knock on the door? You can't knock on the door. Well, this episode is going incredibly well, I must say. However, I do know one house which will let you in, and I think people who have been on my channel for a while will recognise him. So let's pop over there instead. Right, let's knock on the door here. Now, Anne has been travelling around different houses for a couple of hours now, and nobody seems to be in, or they won't let her in, so it's not exactly the best start to introducing herself to the neighbours. Hopefully this might be different. And although you won't recognise the house, I think you'll recognise the tenants. It's the guys from the House of Doom, from my Newcrest Chronicles series. They've up sticks for a while and come to stay here. So there's Stephen. Who else is around? There's Nadine, Tessa, Will. Familiar faces, but a different house. I think Anne really wanted to play chess with somebody, but doesn't seem to be able to persuade anybody to play. But she'll chit chat. She'll chit chat. She will chit chat with Stephen for the time being. Now let's see how Colin is doing. So we've got another rather grand house here, so let's see who lives here. If you can get in, of course. And here we go. Now let's see who we've got here. Now this is Daryl. Maybe you might want to give him a game. Good way of meeting the neighbours, I think.
Not Blanky. Oh, whoops, whoops.
But they haven't actually introduced themselves yet, which I think is a bit strange, but they seem to be getting on well okay. Oh, maybe not. Oh, Anne's here. Hello, hello, hello. Don't start flirting. Oh dear, they haven't got off to a great start, have they? And does anybody else live here? Can't. Oh. Now who's this? Just hold still for a second. That is Adrian. You come to say hello as well, or is he just going to ignore them? Oh right, he's just going to ignore everybody. Well, this is a very friendly household, I must say. So make yourselves at home, Anne and Colin. Seems that people that have just moved in here aren't particularly good hosts. Oh, Anne's going swimming. Would you do this? Would you just invite yourself into the swimming pool when you first meet people? I wouldn't, but then I'm not Anne or Colin. And Colin, you really shouldn't be sat there on the computer when you've got a computer at home. Why don't you start chatting? Introduce yourself. That might be a good idea. Because if you're going to be neighbours, you may as well start introducing yourselves.
Ah, so. Dag. Philibok. Quosettix. Congaroo. Chixrimbloff.
Well, that's better.
Baranga. Cobbler. Bibba. D'Arva.
Now, Anne, are you going to come and join in the conversation as well?
Arbovinia Quar. Jabba. Simbab Kriko. Klanav. Shababu. Lerna. Yibs.
Who's that? That's Ruby. That must be their daughter. Should she not be at school? Oh well. So Anne and Colin have decided to stop off at the local bar and have a drink, because this introducing yourselves to the neighbours doesn't seem to have gone very well. So they thought they might pop into the bar and see if they can perhaps have a drink and chat to a few people, because they haven't really got many friends. So it might be nice if they could get to know other people, and I guess this is the best way of doing it. The place is pretty empty at the moment though, sadly.
Kudis, Larkham Harney.
Varoche.
Now, Anne seems to have a bit of a temper when talking to other people. I don't know what's going off there.
Freenak.
It's a shame really, but what can you say? Now it's 2:30 now. I know the girls will be coming back from school at 3 o'clock, so what I think they'd better do is sup up the drinks and then head back home for the girls. Oh, now Colin's losing his temper. Right, I think we better go now. Right, the girls are back from school now, so they're having a bit of tea. I think Erin's back from childcare now, and she's helping herself to a bit of a salad, so that's nice. Don't know where she's going to eat it though, because nobody seems to want to put her in a high chair. I think she's going to sit in front of the TV and eat it. Whoops, there we go. Good for you, good for you. And having a chat with Sabrina about their day. Sabrina says, well, I'd love to sit and chat, Mum, but I've got my homework to do. So the girls are getting their homework done quite early now, because they've brought home a school project to do. So they'll be getting on with that later on tonight. Probably together, so they can help each other do that. And I've noticed that counter's a bit dirty. Do you want to give it a bit of a clean? Well, Sabrina's finished her homework. Well done. That's what happens when you're an A grade student. You do your homework incredibly quickly. Now, I do believe Heather is an A student as well now, so well done. Now, let's see about getting these projects done once Sabrina's finished cleaning up. Very nice of you. And there we go. Sabrina and Heather are on the lawn doing their projects. Now, I think Anne has come over to see if she can give them a hand. Sabrina seems to think that she doesn't really need any help. So, maybe she might need to ask Heather, because she seems to be a little bit behind. Oh no, she has decided that she's going to clean up instead, so she'll go and leave the girls to do their projects on their own. Well, that's fair enough. Now I think Erin has taken herself off to bed. She's had a long day, so she's having an early night. What's Colin up to? Oh, he's on the computer again. What are you doing, Colin? Browsing the web. Now, where was the spillage? Oh, it was something that the kids had done. Oh dear. Well, she's going over to see Heather now, is Anne. I wonder if it was Heather that made the mess. Why don't we get Colin out here to see if he can give Heather, a bit of a hand. I think Anne is taking herself off to bed as well. At 8:22. It must have been a very busy day. Mind you, going around to see neighbours when nobody particularly wants to talk to you is probably a bit difficult. Oh, look at that, they finished at the same time. Well, I say that, Sabrina's finished hers. Heather's a little bit behind. So, why don't you pop that? Oh, you haven't finished it yet. I thought she'd finished it, but she hasn't. She's just checking the instructions. Everybody's levelling up with this and that. Now, girls, it is getting a little bit late now, so maybe you should be thinking about getting these finished. No, I think the girls are determined to finish their projects before they go to bed. Well, Heather's finished hers. Which is good. So we'll pop that in your inventory. And you can then go off to bed. Unless you want to give Sabrina a hand with hers, because she's still got a lot more to do. She's going to give her a hand. Good grief, look at that, it's 10:30. Oh, that's the thanks you get for helping. Right, I get the impression that they're not going to be doing this project, they're just going to be sat here talking. So, I think it might be an idea if you... I was going to say put it in your inventory, but it seems like you can't. You've got to finish it. Ah! At last. Right, pop that in your inventory. We'll have a look at that later, and in the meantime, you two, I better get yourself up to bed. Otherwise, you'll be late up in the morning.